to High School Game Day, Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And as always, presented by Liuna Labor's Local 663, who reminds us to drive safely in work zones. Hey, those folks want to go home to their families as well. Also presented by Great Southern Bank. Great Southern Bank with more than 100 locations in 6 states. Great Southern Bank, understanding what really matters. Member FDIC. We go down Highway 44 a little bit to the undefeated Sarcoxie Bears, their head football coach, Russell Ellis. Coach Ellis, thanks so much for the visit.
Hey, thanks for calling and reaching out to us. We appreciate all the coverage, guy.
Yeah, you guys, you start off, you get that overtime win there with Commerce, Oklahoma, and then you've kind of not really rolled since then, but you've kind of been dominant. Talk a little bit about your team, coming up here to this point, 2/3 of the way through the season.
Yeah, it's crazy. We're already at week 7. I can't believe it. This team's pretty. The thing about this team that we really love is they just all get along. Sometimes you'll have teams that you kind of have different groups or whatever. And the one thing that I thought with that big win over Commerce, like we had at one point 5 starters out, for different things, cramping, small injuries or whatever. And our young guys, our sophomores, stepped up big and carried us, and we're able to get out of there versus a tough Commerce team, in my opinion, and just kind of slingshotted us forward. We go week to week. It was a huge win at home versus a really nasty Stockton team. They're just solid across the board. That right there was a huge win for our program, just because they're just really good. And I mean, they got athletes all over the field, and that was a really monumental win for our guys to make us kind of believe in what we're trying to accomplish. And then we're able to steal one from Lafayette, a Class 4 team. We just able to, a couple breaks happen, and we were able to jump out on them. And Miller last week kind of hit us in the mouth. We weren't ready. Coach Hill's done a great job over there. I'm telling you what, took us to the wire. But again, our boys just leaned on each other and found a way to get it done, and here we are.
Yeah, at this point of the season, obviously 2/3 of the way through the season, are outside of bumps and bruises. Are you guys relatively healthy?
I think so. I mean, you know how it is in football. I mean, you're always going to have a small nagging injury here or there, but we've been pretty lucky so far. And at our level, Class 1, Class 2, I wish we were Class 1, but we're not. But anyway, that's a different story. But yeah, I mean, one injury away from really having to change a significant amount on your team, and we've been pretty lucky up to this point. So.
And again, visiting with Sarcoxie Bears head football coach Russell Ellis. And Coach Ellis, just a little bit, about your background. Where did you go to high school, college, and how long have you been at Sarcoxie, and how'd you end up there?
I'm from Arkansas, a little town called Norman, Arkansas. I went to high school at Kettle Hills High School. It's a little, you blink, you're through it. It's kind of a consolidated school between a bunch of small, you blink, you've driven through the town. Got a scholarship to Missouri Southern. I was a pole vaulter there. Had some success, had a great coach, great teammates, and really enjoyed the area. My family's still down in Southwest Arkansas, beautiful country down there. But man, I needed money. I needed a job, and Mr. Phil Lewis, who's now our superintendent, was the principal at the time. Him and Jeff Cabance, our athletic director, reached out for this small country bumpkin, small town USA, and gave me an opportunity. So, I was here as an assistant for 4 years. I was under Cabance, under Luke Rader. And then an opportunity opened up to the rival Pierce City, and I was at Matt Holt was the head coach at that time, and I worked with him for a year. And then Brad Hawker took back over, learned a lot from a lot of those guys that I just mentioned, a lot of tutelage that I had. And this job opened up. The head Luke Rader actually moved on, went to Lockwood. And so, one of my goals out of school, I always want to be a head football coach. My mentor, Jay Holland, down in Arkansas, he inspired me. He only had a couple years of work with me, but he inspired me. And I saw the power that being a head football coach can have over tutoring young kids. And, man, I was chomping at the bit. So This is my 9th season here as head football coach, and man, I love the community. They're really great to our family, great to my family, great to my wife, great to my kids. Administration's great, the board's great. Obviously, we have tremendous facilities. Listen, I'd be a liar if I tell you I wasn't spoiled rotten.
Well, you've got you talked about wishing you were in Class One. You've got a Class One #1 team in the state coming to town in Marionville at 6-0. What do you know about about the Comets, and what are you gonna have to do to come out on top?
Man, I tell you what, Coach Grubbs. Obviously, I don't have to talk about a lot about the Comets. Everybody knows about them. I mean, I don't know that they've lost a conference game in 4 years, 5 years, maybe. I mean, they're just tooth and nails. Just a great football program. Kudos to him and his staff and that community. They, they're a little bit different than what they've been the last 3 to 4 years. They've had athletes and spread the field and take advantage of space, whereas this year they have athletes and can spread the field, but now they're just lining up and running your rear end over and just physically just taking your fight away. Listen, they're a handful. They've got great athletes. Number 20, their running back is Nails. Number 10 running back is also Nails. Number 80, their little H back is a dude. He's got a sophomore, number 11, that's a stud. I'm telling you, he's going to be a one to watch for in the next couple years. Obviously, they're freaking gigantic up front and very physical. As far as like what keys to success that we can do, listen, our offense is predicated on not blocking people. So I think that's definitely going to help us not having to block those mongrels and just reading them. Defensively, I think it's going to be a war of attrition. Just keep trying to make them drive the ball and make them eat up the clock and hopefully take away some big plays and create some turnovers. But listen, watching the film, they're nails. I mean, I don't. They really don't have a chink in the armor. I mean, obviously, there's a reason they're number 1 in Class 1. You know what I'm saying? So they're solid across the board. But I think our big focus this week is just trying to take care of ourselves and minimize turnovers and give ourselves an opportunity at the end of the game to have a shot to steal one from them.
And very similar stats as you look at how many points per game. You guys are within a point there scoring per game. You've played some similar opponents as well. What do you take from those films on 2 or 3 of the similar opponents you've played?
I try. There's similarities and differences, and also as well as it's hard sometimes to compare opponents because of matchups, like what teams do well compared to what other teams don't do well. So if you're looking at scores, I think there's some similarities. You go over to that Stockton game. I think that game was a 1-point game, maybe a 12-7 or something like that score. And I think we beat Stockton 24-22. So, as far as matchups go, it's hard to tell. They're defensively they're really, really good. I think that, if you'd probably ask Coach Grubbs, that's probably the strength of their team is their defense. I mean, I know they're giving up less than, on the films I've seen, they're giving up less than a touchdown a game. So, they're tough. But as far as common opponents, I look back to that Stockton score and, hold out some hope. But that was week 1. It's week 7, so everyone's gotten a lot better at that point.
Very good. Well, it's at home. That's got to mean something there. What do you expect the fan turnout to be?
To be honest, I think it got a little feedback there. Sorry. I think that I think it's obviously a huge asset to be able to play at home. Our crowd has been showing up and showing out. We're really looking forward to the experience. I told the boys this on Monday when we had our meeting. Football is a special game. It's a special opportunity to create relationships with other people. But man, there's not many times in your life that you can have that many people in one location, just cheering their rear end off for you. So enjoy that moment, soak some of that in, make memories that you'll never forget. So, yeah, the community is really backing us and really excited about it. The boys are fired up and excited, and I think the families and the parents are as well.
Very good. Well, Coach Ellis, I greatly appreciate you being generous with your time. I know this was really short notice, but hey, good luck. Friday night here in Week 7, and you look at your district, and there's 3 teams 6-0 in your district, and none of them are ranked number 1 right now.
listen, guy. I appreciate you having me, and I'm so glad to be on here. Yeah, I mean, obviously the juggernaut you have in Lamar, they're the number 1 team in the state, and they will continue to be the number 1 team in the state until someone proves differently. But yeah, you've got Adrian and Butler, who I believe went to the quarters last year in Class 1, and I think that was a 1-point or a 1-score game in the final of that one last year. And now they're Class 2 and seems to be just ripping off the wins like and beating the brakes off folks. So that conference, that old WeMo conference, they don't mess. I know it's Adrian's up there and Butler. I'm not real sure what conference, but man, listen, they play a different brand of football up there. So listen, we're focused on Marionville, but yeah, our district is no joke, no joke.
You bet. Coach Ellis, thanks so much.
Hey, best of luck. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
You bet. You're watching the Missouri Sports Network on MissouriSportsNetwork.com, wherever the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds everyone to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow.